New beginnings are a time for celebration. A seed must be watered in order to sprout. A lot of work occurs below the soil, and when the seedling pushes through the dirt, it's a sign of growth. Growth is not a simple process. It can be painful and gritty. Eventually, blooming occurs. You are growing. If it feels difficult, remember that you too will soon bloom. Allow yourself time to push through the soil. Wagwan beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I am Chef B. If you're new here, welcome Wagwan. Make sure you're subscribed down below. This is our reset video where I will be cleaning and expressing my internal thoughts. It is 2025 and I am setting some intentions for myself. Last year, I didn't have a New Year's resolution. I just went with the flow. And it didn't pan out so great. Like, it wasn't a bad year, but I felt like it could have been better if I was more strategic with my intentions. So for this year, I'm setting some goals for myself. And one of the main things for me is waking up early before 9 a.m. and actually doing some morning devotion. I realized that I wasn't as close to God last year as I should have been. And it's something that I am taking the greatest focus on this year. It's to meditate, get my morning right, get my mind right. If I start the morning and I don't feel right, the rest of my day is not going to go good. So that is one of the biggest things for me. Waking up before the sun is at its peak and actually doing daily devotions and meditating. Another great thing for me where I am not the most productive is if my space is not organized. And that goes hand in hand in some way living in a climate where during the winter, I can't really go outside. It's not that I can't go outside, it's that I don't want to go outside. So I live in Toronto, Canada. I was born in Jamaica. I've lived in Canada for the last 10 years. And with living in Toronto, where it is majority of the time winter, it's cold, seasonal depression is real. It is so fierce. It hits you out of nowhere. You think you're happy and then one day it is like the sky is falling down. Most of the days are gloomy. Today it looks pretty sunny, but don't let that fool you. It is so cold. You can't even go for a walk because it feels like minus 20. For the last 7 years, I've struggled immensely with seasonal depression. But over the years, over the last 2 years, I've found ways where I could beat that, where I could fight it and it doesn't affect me as much. And one of those things is keeping an organized space so that I could be productive. I could work. I could keep my mind busy as opposed to just dwelling in the gloominess. Cleaning and taking down these Christmas decorations was number one on my list as soon as the year started. This was January 6th. And my common area of my home needed to be organized because honestly, the first couple of days in January, I was just laying in the bed. I was just chilling. And also I was giving myself some grace because I was kind of beating myself up like, girl, you need to get up. But I realized that I needed to clear my head in order to have a productive rest of my week. So I'm not even going to beat myself up. So once the 6th of January came around, I'm like, yeah, it's time to put these Christmas decorations away and write down some goals for this year. What are my goals? One of my biggest goals this year is getting in shape. I found out that I have PCOS and endometriosis, and it was a little bit frightening because now I'm 30 years old and I haven't had children yet. I want to get into a space mentally where I am ready to have children. I felt like for the longest time I wasn't because of how much mentally I was struggling. And I couldn't bring a child into a space where I was struggling mentally. It wouldn't be fair. Even if I can financially afford a child, mentally I knew I wasn't in that space just yet. And that's something that I was struggling with. And I didn't realize until I got a regular checkup. And I found out that I had PCOS and it was affecting my mood so badly. Between having that B12 deficiency where I just feel tired all the time, I don't have any energy, and then PCOS messing with my hormones, it was also a great thing to find out because then I could manage it. And earlier last year, I was doing a great job doing that by exercising, eating better, just doing better all around. I got my periods regularly again. I was doing so good until after my 30th birthday, which was weird because I was excited to turn 30 years old. But then something else, like, I don't know if it was like a little crisis after I turned 30. I don't know what it was. It's still, I am so confused to this day, but I just was not in a great space. I was not creating as much as I wanted to. I had all these ideas in my head, what I wanted to do in order to, maximize my YouTube channel, my social media presence, but I just couldn't do anything. I was stuck after September. I didn't exercise at all. I stopped eating right. I gained 10 pounds and I was just not happy. I don't know why. And it was unexplainable. When you feel like your hormones are all over the place, your emotions are all over the place, you're irritated all the time, you're sad sometimes, all of a sudden you're gaining weight out of nowhere. It is such a struggle, and I didn't have that under control. And this year, I am putting it underneath my number one, which is getting closer to God. Number two, getting my mental and my physical back. Like, I need to start going to the gym regularly, not just having a diet. I'm not even focusing on the diet aspect of it. It's more so on the getting in shape and it becoming a lifestyle. I want going to the gym and just working out be second nature to me. When I don't eat right, it affects my body, it affects my mood, it affects my mental. But one thing I will say is that I know how to bounce back. So I'm giving myself grace because I always bounce back because I know I have the capacity to do better all the time. And that goes for everybody. Sometimes we fall from what we are capable of, but just know that when it rains, but it has to stop sometime. It won't rain forever. And that is what's giving me the push to know that this year I am making the most effort to make sure that I achieve everything that I want to achieve this year. And cleaning and maintaining my space is gonna be at the top of that list as well. I know I got a lot of top of lists at this point, but these are the intentions that I'm setting for myself. I'm a Virgo, and I know a lot of people don't believe in astrology. I don't believe in it sometimes, but I know as a Virgo, I need this organized space. I need organization to function. If nothing makes sense, and then having these ailments where I don't feel like doing anything, how am I going to maintain an organized space if I don't get up and make the effort to do that? And that's what saying these intentions are all about. Keeping my space clean, because a lot of times our home reflects our mood, our home reflects where we are mentally. And if I can't keep this space clean, I don't know where my mental is. Like, I look around and I'm like, yeah, I'm not pleased with this. So let's get everything straightened out. Let's get my life figured out. And 2024, I felt like I needed change, but I didn't know how to implement that. Like, I was just going through the flow. And this year, I can't allow myself not to feel how I feel and make changes that needs to be made in my life. Like, making the effort to be better, making the effort to put it this way. It's like we know God placed a path for us, and we know the path. Sometimes we fight against the path, or we feel like, oh, are we making the right choice? But we actually know the path that we're supposed to take. And this year, I am moving towards that path. I say all of this to say 2025, I am going to be better, because I'm going to intentionally do better. I'm setting these goals for myself where it comes to my career, when it comes to my mental health, when it comes to my spirituality. And it's going to be a great year because we're focused and we're ready to conquer the year. When things don't seem to go the way you want, you have a choice to make. Resist or welcome peace. Resisting causes stress and anxiety. Most of us tend to dwell on how we want things to go and become stressed out. But if you release control, you allow what needs to happen to play out as it's supposed to. Many factors are at work and we can't know how it all fits together yet. Choose to cease resisting and allow peace to enter.